Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Welcome. We have a big show for you today, folks. A whole lot of stuff. I just got through, why am I kind of 2 or 3 minutes late? I just got through burning the last video. So we should be okay now. How are my peeps doing? Welcome aboard. We have in the house, first person, Patrick Magner says, meow. We also have from Patrick is from Houston, Texas, AVQ coming in from Brooklyn, New York. We have Lee the Bearcat coming in from Austin, Texas. We have Joanna coming in from Los Angeles, California. We have Tony. Hello, good people. Tony, how are you doing? Where are you from, Tony? Let me hear where you're from. We have also, we have Yvette Avery Herod in the house from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, FB just got up. I just got it up. Absolutely so. In the chat from, Substack, we've got Foye, Audrey Truitt, Cindy Thialt, Cindy Cousin, Christian Norway, Diane Frostino, Ms. Lottie says from Oregon. And she's overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed. We are here. We are family. We are here to sit down and talk things through and talk to each other. Paul Fleming is in from Powder Springs, Georgia, as well as Lee Grant from Montgomery County. I've got a doozy from Lee Grant in Montgomery County after his congressperson did the wrong thing. Tony says, I'm from Oregon, Egberto. Well, welcome from Oregon, Tony. Great to see you here. Anyway, folks, we got a lot to talk about. Today. Anyhow, I think I'm going to start with an interview that I did this morning. This morning, we had a program, and somebody called the station. Actually, the person who called the station was James Arellana, and he called to say that he went to the town hall that was put on by Morgan Luttrell, okay? And let me go ahead and let you hear how he interprets what occurred on that meeting, and then we'll take it on the other side. Welcome to another edition of Politics Done Right. Today, I'm honored to have James Orellana, who recently attended one of the town halls from Marcus Luttrell, and he said it was quite a town hall. So, first of all, welcome aboard, James. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm just doing great. I'm a social worker, and I can't wait to get to work and help my patients.
Well, you know what? That good people. Let me ask you something. You recently went to a town hall held by Congressman Luttrell, correct?
That's correct.
You said it was pretty wild. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened at that town hall?
Well, I was at the Conroe VFW, and you have to excuse my voice. I'm getting over that cold everybody has. So anyway, they had lots of police officers there. I thought the President of the United States was there, and the place was packed, and it was full of what I thought were MAGA Republicans, because if you ever go to Montgomery County is beautiful, and it's MAGA red, completely MAGA red. And at first it was kind of quiet, but then when the congressmen started talking, people started yelling. These were like 70, 80-year-olds and people my age in their 60s going, bring him home, bring him home for Mr. Garcia. A lady stood up and said, "You're not taking my vote away," meaning, the driver's license, scam where they're trying to
The SAVE Act,
restrict. Yeah. They were saying that, and then I came inches away from being escorted because he starts putting up a thing about the national debt, and I said, "Don't tell me about the national debt when you want to give all these tax giveaways to your friends." And then people were yelling. I was really surprised. Due process. I don't care if he did this or that. He's entitled to due process. And so I thought I would never see this in Montgomery County, ever see this, or I didn't think I was going to see it in my lifetime. But this was democracy in action, and almost brought tears to my eyes.
Well, I mean, I am so happy that, first of all, that you went to that town hall, and more importantly, that you're starting to see people change over. I know Montgomery County. I know the Conroe area. In fact, a lot of the Texas governor and Dan Patrick, they're always out there fundraising, because that is like their home away from home in Southeast Texas. So, I mean, that you said that was a type of a response that he get. Remember, I think his name is Morgan Luttrell. What district does that represent? Do you know?
District 8. I think he has part of West Houston.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because I think he believes that by singing the MAGA praises, that in that area it would have gone over very well. But Americans are starting to see what is actually occurring, and that, yesterday I had a businessman who, I don't know what his ideology is, I don't know what his party is, but we can infer. And he was out there really complaining about how the tariffs are materially affecting his business. That doesn't have anything to do with party at all, James. It's all about harming the country.
Oh yeah, there was a lady outside, and there was a discussion outside going on about everything that I was saying happened inside was happening outside. And this lady said, "I'm a small business owner, and I'm going to go out of business because of these tariffs." So people are pissed off. They see the reality now.
Well, look, I appreciate you taking the time. You called into our station earlier today, and as soon as I got the information that we had evidence of what's going on in Montgomery County at Luttrell's town hall, I wanted to make sure to get that out. So thank you so kindly for spending this time and going off to the side of the road for a quick interview so we can make sure that America hears this.
God bless you. I want everybody to hear that. Show up to your town hall meetings. Let them know how you feel. Now it's time to be Americans. God bless America.
Thank you so kindly, James Adiano. You have a wonderful day. Yeah, it was, James called the station. We had a good show earlier this morning. Actually, Bruce is in the house. Bruce from Kingwood, Texas is in the house. Bruce was the co-host this morning. We also have, that just showed up in the chat, Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. Richard Thompson in Substack says, Conroe County is so beautiful. I only visited there once and it is beautiful. Yeah, Conroe is a beautiful place. Wendy Bussier says, thank you. Sarah Montgomery County from Richard Thompson. Sabrina, welcome. All of you guys that are out here. Oh, wait, Richard is in Greenville, South Carolina. Beautiful, beautiful. That's Piney Woods, all of that. Well, actually, South Carolina, not the Piney Woods. God, I forgot the type of trees that we have out there. Great to have all you guys here. Lee Grant is in the house. Lee Grant says Trump meets with Giorgia Meloni. That is the Prime Minister of Italy today. Yeah, they have already met and had their discussion and press. I saw them do a press release as well. All right. AVQ says Lee DeBerk at 34, conviction for business fraud and cover up. The other charges never went through, but Trump was also guilty of willful retention in Florida. Look, Trump is a criminal. We don't need to talk about that. Trump is a criminal who the presidency has saved. Trump is a thug. Trump rips off 501c3s. He stiffs people that he owes money. He stiffs workers. He claimed to like the working class, but somehow he always finds a way to stiff them. So let's get away from any comparisons when we talk about felons. We have a felon in our midst, and we have the tendency to really try to talk about anybody else. Be real, guys. We are ruled by a felon, period. There's no argument about that. Many of you have decided to elect a thug. So I don't want to ever hear those of you who elected a thug to talk about the morality or the criminality of anybody else, because you have elected a thug. All right. The other thing that I want to show is I've got a piece here talking about GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski. I want you guys to think about this. Lisa Murkowski is a powerful senator from Alaska. And when I tell you that you guys have elected a thug, this is what thugs do. I want you to listen to Lisa Murkowski here and a little banter after with a few of the talking heads afterwards. Think about this, where or when in America, welcome aboard May Wood from Long Beach, California. When in America did we ever have to concern ourselves about things like this? We always thought about this from other countries. We always thought this is only things that occurs in countries where we have military government or uncivilized folk. But I want you to listen to Lisa Murkowski, because this should send pause. This should send chills down your spine. Republican Senator Murkowski from Alaska, what she said recently should scare the bejesus out of every single American. That a politician comes out and admits that the reason they are simply going along with Donald Trump and his autocracy is that they are scared of what could happen to them if they challenge the presidents too hard. That should tell America everything and make it known now that it is time for Donald Trump to lose support from every democratic loving American. Whether, I don't care what party, affiliation, ideology that you have, this is dangerous. This is not what we're talking about, dictatorship. This is worse than a dictatorship. This is a dictatorship with mobster qualities. Folks, this is serious. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Republicans on Capitol Hill are trying to thread a very small needle. They're trying to get the president his one big, beautiful budget bill and extend his 2017 tax cuts, which are set to expire at the end of the year. It's, of course, easier said than done, especially with margins like these. And for those Republicans who might not be on board with the president's plans, today we heard this stark note of honesty from Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska.
We are all afraid. Okay? We're in a time and a place where I don't know, I certainly have not been here before. And I'll tell you, I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice, because retaliation is real, and that's not right.
NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles and Mark Short, the former White House Legislative Affairs Director during the first Trump administration, both join us now. Ryan, I'll start with you. Murkowski's comments are frankly stunning. I mean, what did you make of her saying them there?
I think it tells us a lot, Allie, about the mood of congressional Republicans right now in terms of their interaction with the Trump administration. There's a real sense that it's very difficult for them to voice how they're really feeling about some of these Trump policies and the negotiations that they have around this big budget reconciliation package, because Trump ultimately is going to ask for and get what he wants. And if you step out of line in any way, shape, or form, there will be political retribution in the form of perhaps a primary. There could be even more that could come from that. Social media attacks from Trump's online allies, and it could go even further. And there are some congressional Republicans that are worried about the threats of physical violence that could come as a result of stepping out of line with Donald Trump. And this is really going to crystallize over the next couple of months, Allie, as they begin the negotiations in earnest around this budget reconciliation package, because something's going to have to give. They want trillions of dollars in tax cuts. They want trillions of dollars in cuts, but they also don't want to touch these third rail social programs like Medicare and Medicaid that many Americans rely on. It's very difficult to make all three of those things come together, and there are very different views as to how to get there amongst many of these Republicans in Congress. Many of those views may run counter to what the Trump White House wants. So this process is going to become a real hot button issue here over the next couple of months, and how these elected leaders respond will tell us a lot about this trajectory going forward.
Yeah, because we know that there's a difference between marching with the party on policy and then outright fear of stepping out of line. Ryan, you and I have spent a lot of time chronicling the rise in threats against members of Congress. But Mark, you've also spent a lot of time talking with members of Congress when you worked in the first Trump administration. Did you ever hear anything like what Lisa Murkowski is saying, this idea of we're afraid to buck the White House?
Well, I don't think they were afraid when I was working in the White House. I think at the time...
What's changed then?
Well, I think at the time, the president didn't have as strong control of the party as he does today. I think his grasp of the party is much tighter, and I think that he's shown his willingness to challenge members in primaries. And so I think that's more of a self-protection concern that many members have today, that at the time of the first administration, they were more willing to speak out.
So check this out. What are you going to do? When you have a distinguished senator, a strong senator, express fear to buck a president that is throwing the country away, that is destroying the country, and with that, the world, what exactly should the population do? We know what to do, but will you do it? It is time for everybody to step up, because this is one feeble man. This is one person with paper. It's nothing but a paper tiger. These are feeble men who are using their implied strength against us all. It's time for us to use our collective strength against them. Exactly right. Exactly right. It is time for us to use our collective strength against those evil beings. And I say that with no meaning it literally, meaning it completely as it came out of my threat. These are evil people that they can throw somebody that somebody that isn't really MS-13 or somebody that really hasn't done anything, and they know better, and they continue to harm this person. They're supposed to be family persons. They believe in family values. What can I say? Hey, Charlie Lindahl from Conroe, Texas is in the house. Hi, not Conroe. I think you're from the Woodlands, Texas is in the house. How you doing, Charlie Lindahl? Your question is, how do we fight them? I tell you what, you saw earlier today I had James, how do you say his name? James Arellana on our program today. He went ahead. He challenged them. Here is what gives Donald Trump strength. Donald Trump has strength because the people in the Republican Party believes that he has such command over the populace that he can decide who gets elected. And since these people want their jobs, they will follow him if they believe that he has the power to get them elected or unelected. But the other part that he has is the crazies. You know, there's a militia part of the Donald Trump realm. These people that love their AR-15s there's a reason Donald Trump gave all those pardons, right? Donald Trump gave all those pardons for this reason. He want all those crazy, immoral AR-15 carrying MAGA Republicans who are willing to shoot and kill to understand that they will get a pardon, that they will get a pardon if they commit crimes in helping Donald Trump in whatever endeavor he has. That is the reason he pardoned them. That was a wink to say, hey guys, you see, I can pardon criminals, and if I pardon criminals, they are willing to fight for me again. But you know what? There are more honest people than criminals out there. And there are more honest people with guns too than criminals out there. And in as much as the military has a right-wing sect within it, meaning a few of the military people are right-wing folks, most military people out there are good folk, good regular citizens wanting to get a college education so they make the trade. Most Americans are progressives, even if they don't identify themselves that way. Most Americans will defend, if Donald Trump says, go kill your mother, your brother, your sister, they will say no. So coming back to what you had to say, my dear brother Lindal, the thing about it is we have to boldly step up. I am constantly talking on air. I'm constantly writing to spread the word. And we have people like here in Kingwood and in Divisible Kingwood, Cindy Hendrickson. She took a group out there to the Woodlands where our congressperson was having it stuff. We have the swing left that are out there hitting on doors, making sure people realize. We have Brother Ray here. Welcome aboard, Ray from Houston, Texas, is in TOPS where they're educating people about what needs to be done. We see the fall in Trump numbers. I brought on a businessman that would one would infer is a Republican who just wants a tax cut, who is out there saying, no, we don't want these policies. So we are coalescing a group of not just traditional progressives, not just working class folk, but people who started to realize, if you watch Rachel Maddows in the afternoons, you see the amount of protests that are occurring in America, not on the weekends, but every day. The people that are able to march and protest during the weeks are older Americans. These older Americans do what? They vote. You mess with their Social Security, they vote. So here's the other kicker, folks. Bruce says, don't forget, moms demand action. You're actually right for gun safety. Let me tell you what our caveat and what we have to be careful of going forward. Donald Trump is going to lose support and is losing support. What he's likely to do, why he had Bondi figure out if he can call martial law, also known as if he can go ahead and institute the Insurrection Act, is because as his popularity falls, he may look for the first protest that becomes disruptive. He will look for the first disruptive protests and try to make it seem like it is something occurring all over the country and then declare the Insurrection Act or martial law. And that is the point where Congress will have to decide if they are going to act or not. And that is a time when the lower level in the military, because remember, Hegseth is a hack. Hegseth was put there for the Insurrection Act. That's why Hegseth is there, because if he calls up Hegseth and says, we are going to invoke the Insurrection Act and I need you to tell your generals to do this, that is what he wants. But here's the deal. The generals, the lower level generals, I doubt will take that command and bring the military out against the American people, because we know better. And at that time, if the Congress doesn't impeach him and kick him out of office as fast as possible, both him and his vice president, look, let me tell you, America cannot be bought. The fear that people have of this paper tiger need not be there. The fear for the paper tiger need not be there, because the American military is not just made up of right-wing folks. You have to get out there and be out there. And just like all these protests have been peaceful without giving the cops a reason to get involved, that's what we continue. And then come 2006, we have a landslide to get all of MAGA out of the House of Representatives. These guys are destroying the country. For those of you who were into DOGE, thinking that DOGE was anything other than a thuggery on the American people, I want you to listen to this because this is quite important for you to see. DOGE was a complete failure. Okay, folks, are you ready? Repeat after me. DOGE has been a complete failure. When they started it with all the big fanfare, it was supposed to save $2 trillion. They were going to find $2 trillion to cut. By January, they were going to cut $1 trillion. And you know what? They are now claiming, well, they've been able to cut $150 billion. But New York Times checked it out and found out they were simply lying. They cannot find any of these cuts. So in effect, what they've done, disrupted government. And guess what? Well, I'll tell you the guess what at the end. Check this out from Steve Ratner, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Let's just talk about Musk overall and DOGE. I mean, the promises were, target cutting 150 billion, 2 trillion annually from the budget. I mean, they went in there, a bunch of people with, I believe, no clearance, no cabinet position. So there's those issues and those questions that have a lot of us wondering. But okay, so what's been the outcome of these grand projections?
So, yeah, as you said, there's been an enormous amount of commotion. You've had a bunch of people lose their jobs. You've had confusion all over the place. What do we have to show for it? Well, back during the campaign, Trump claimed that he was going to cut $2 trillion from our annual budget. And by the way, our annual budget is $7 trillion. So he would have been talking obviously about a massive, massive cut. They quickly realized that was not successful. In January, they said we'll cut $1 trillion out of the budget. And by the way, the government's fiscal year is now more than half over anyway. But then on April 10th, they lowered it to $150 billion. So $2 trillion, $1 trillion, $150. But even the $150 billion, the New York Times did a very thorough investigation of this. 92 billion of it is unspecified. Nobody knows where that's coming from. Of the other 63 billion, there were all kinds of mistakes, including, for example, a contract for 1.9 billion they claim credit for actually canceled during the Biden administration. So for all the commotion, all the layoffs, all the unhappy people, there's very little to show for it. You can see that most clearly over here because this tracks federal spending month by month since the beginning of each year back from 2022. And as you would expect, it went up a little bit in 23, a little bit in 24, but it's actually gone up a good bit in 25. So there's still no impact whatsoever on government spending from all of, as I said, the commotion that Musk has created in Washington.
Well, here's the deal. Not only did they not find these cuts that they wanted to get rid of, they got rid of all the watchdogs that make sure that there isn't bad spending. I wonder why they got rid of the watchdogs. The fact that they could find nothing to really cut shows that the watchdogs were actually doing their jobs. Is there waste in government? Of course. The problem in government is one person's waste is another person's project. One person's waste, is research for hemophilia waste. To somebody that doesn't give a damn about hemophilia, it is waste. For somebody who has relatives and people, it's not. Therefore, let's be clear. Our government, in as much as we could do things more efficiently, the places that DOGE looked for were not the places where you find all the thievery from the private sector. If you want to find the thievery from the private sector, visit the Pentagon's budget, visit the military industrial complex, visit all the corporations like the oil companies that get subsidies that are undeserved, even as they take our oil out of public lands. That's where the waste is. The waste isn't in social programs. The waste isn't in USAID that's doing humane stuff. But these animals that went into our government and cut inhumanely. a lot of jobs that now we are paying for. Remember how they cut Social Security? Now you can't get somebody to answer the Social Security lines. You remember how they cut the IRS? Good luck in getting help from the IRS going forward. These are irresponsible children, irresponsible boys that are messing with our government. And the worst part about it is that the Republican Congress that should be holding the president accountable is so scared of the president that they are allowing this one-person wrecking ball with all of his sycophants to effect this damage that will take us years to repair. The damage that these people are doing to our country borders on treason. And we shouldn't forget the Rachel Maddow discovery, or what appeared on her show a few days ago, with all the implications that many of DOGE's analysts may have even, I want to say this right, there's a possibility that they stole all of our data and sent it overseas and otherwise. DOGE has been a fraud. DOGE has been a failure. And it is high time that we do something about it. Yeah, we have to stop telling ourselves lies. A-Golf Twitler is in the house. He says, wearing a hoodie and Chicago Bulls cap doesn't make you MS-13 or a terrorist. Again, these guys are nuts. They are completely nuts. Trump on today's mass shooting at FSU. Things like this taking place. Gun violence doesn't just happen. It's a result of cowardly politicians bought by the gun lobby like Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, repeatedly failing us with industry profits. You're absolutely right. Charlie Lindahl says, according to this whistleblower, not only did DOGE get access, there was a massive outflow of information from the NLRB network. Yeah, I actually covered that a couple days ago. No one knows where this was sent, and I need to actually cut that out of that program. Thanks for reminding me on that, Charlie Lindahl. Let's see. NPR Justin, Trump issued an executive order on day one of his administration that sought to limit birthright citizenship. Yep, that is in the Supreme Court right now. We'll see. You know what? Can you believe that? Right back. AVQ says, Egberto, it's unlikely all of MAGA will be out even after Trump leaves office. I'm writing a book. I've started writing the book. It's going to be a quick book. The title, I think it has something like Trump isn't real. I mean, I forgot the title that I gave it, but in effect, it's Trump is only a representation of MAGA. MAGA exists even after Trump. After Trump. All right. Paul Fleming says, Black News. Target CEO Brian Cornell requests meeting with Al Sharpstown about DEI boycott. Nope, no meeting. You decided to follow the racist in chief. You decided to follow what the crook had to say by disimplementing DEI. Pay the price. Everybody go to Costco. Costco says we are going to continue to award those who deserve the positions, the ones who have earned it, the ones who are qualified for it. We'll give them the positions, unlike the thugs that we have, wife beaters and drunks like Pete Hegseth, replacing a up and standing Austin as defense secretary. It's amazing what privilege does. Replying to, hey, Tom Zarnik, I haven't heard from Brother Tom in a while. Is he in the chat? Let me see. Wow. Oh, Tom has, hey, guys, we have a limerick to read from Tom. If I didn't see that message from our young lady Yvette, I would have missed Tom's limerick. So now it is Tom's time. I need to create a little music thing that says when I'm about to read Tom's limerick. Here we go. I did a copy and paste. Let's go with Tom's limerick. Hey, I'm reading this fresh. I haven't seen it at all. A MAGA Villanelle satire. Here we go. As U.S. citizens, you know there's nothing much to fear. Good riddance, you say, when aliens vanish. Cause criminal migrants deserve to disappear. Only friends and family you need to hold dear. There is no crime, you know, in being clannish, and Americans, of course, have nothing much to fear. As long as when the flag is waving, you stand and cheer, and no one in your group is speaking Spanish, cause the undocumented migrants deserve to disappear. Good old redneck country songs make you shed a tear. And any thought of being woke, you quickly banish. Cause real Americans have nothing too much to fear. If you believe it's just two genders and one ain't queer, can't stand drag queens with costumes outlandish. Cause people alien to U.S. culture deserve to disappear. As long as you to Trump and MAGA principles adhere. And no female relative of yours is mannish. As white male Americans, you have nothing much to fear. Citizen or not, everyone else deserves to disappear. Damn! I like what you did with the niche and the ear. The ish and the ear. Brother, you're good. Let's give Tom Zornick a big hand. Tom does it again. Tom Zornick does it again. Thank you, Tom. You're a genius. That Tom is our poet laureate. Okay. Let's see what we have. Agolf Twitler says the detective who claimed Garcia was an MS-13 member was fired months after the trial in 2019 for trading confidential case information to a sex worker for you know what. I read that. That was their only witness against Garcia. All right, Bruce Pollard said, I need one of these with shorter lines to put to music. Bruce, you can pick up your guitar and you can actually write it out large enough so that you can see it, sing it, record it, and we'll play it on Politics Done Right. Agolf Twitler says, wearing a hoodie and a bull's cap in an imagination sound up at Home Depot. I hear you, buddy. Okay, it's 41, and we have one more video. And this one is a video that we've kind of talked about this before. Let's be clear. Elon Musk is no genius. Elon Musk is not even smart. The way he handled DOGE is proof enough. And one last thing, Elon Musk is not an engineer. So when you hear these dumb politicians, and I call them dumb because they were so easily snowed into believing that Elon Musk had any relative scientific intellect. I'm sorry, he does not. You listen to what he says and how he says things work, you understand that he doesn't have intellect. When he's been promising a self-driving car for over a decade. Every year is going to be the year of the self-driving car. But you see, he doesn't understand all the implications of a self-driving car. The easy part is following a line or following a road. What he failed to realize is the exceptions. In any programming endeavor, I program real-time operating systems, right? I did it for NASA. I did it for Daniel. I did it for all these other things. The most difficult part of programming is not what the program is doing most of the times. The most difficult part of programming is what's called exceptions. And exceptions will kill you because exceptions is what cause programs to self-destruct. And that is the reason a lot of Tesla cars wreck in the middle of nowhere, why they blow up in under tunnels, etc. Because again, the most difficult part of programming SCADA and sensoring is the exception. What happens when a car is traveling at X speed with a glare of light hitting the bumper that your program have to simulate the speed when that change occurs in real time? That is what happens in real programming, the exceptions. Oh, I can go ahead and send a signal out to the bumper of a car, figure out its relative velocity, its relative direction, and then be able to adjust. But what happens when we get some sort of a bird flies across that bumper? You see, the exceptions, you program the most difficult part of SCADA programming, the most difficult part of real-time programming, the thing that Musk could never understand is the exceptions. And that's why when 10 years ago he talked about we are going to have a self-driving car, he doesn't understand what it takes when you're going to have a self-driving car and what it implies, the exceptions. Anyway, let's play him and then we'll take it on the other side. Let's be clear. First and foremost, Elon Musk is no genius, and Elon Musk is definitely not an engineer. Everything created by Elon, his companies, etc., is based on the intellect of others, which he becomes the marketeer. So as usual in America, the people that do the least oftentimes are the ones that become the richest and make the most, all hype, but no clothes. Now, it's interesting because one of the successes that Tesla had is based entirely on having received government subsidies for offsets from polluting car companies that needed an electric car company to give them relative subsidies. I want you to listen to what Steve Ratner had to say with regards to Tesla, then we'll take it on the other side.
Let's start with Tesla. What's going on there, Steve?
Yeah, Meek, as you said, Tesla has actually hit a bit of a bump in the road, no pun intended. But you can see here that Tesla in its early years had huge sales increases, as you would expect, very popular, one of the few makers of really good electric vehicles in the country. But beginning in 2025, its sales kind of stagnated, combination of really two reasons. One, some competition, more competition from other people trying to get in the business, including domestic manufacturers, and also the fact that people are getting their models Y and S, two of their most popular models, getting a little bit long in the tooth, so to speak. But look what happened here in the first quarter. In the first quarter, their sales went down 13%, more than they've ever done before. And that's across the world. If you look at just the U.S., you can see that all U.S. EV sales are actually up 11%, and Tesla was down 9%. And so what I think you are starting to see, and I'll get to this a bit more in a second, you are starting to see Musk's unpopularity weigh on Tesla's sales. Some of it is expected. Their market share, when you start with a very, very high market share, really only one way to go. And as I said, other people are making them. But look what happened in Europe in the first quarter. In Europe, their market share dropped enormously. And this, I do think, is heavily related to the unpopularity of both American products, frankly, as well as Elon Musk in Europe.
Interesting. And so Tesla tanking, what's the reason behind it?
So, yes, you can see the Tesla stock was back in September, October was down here. It had this, when Trump was elected, it took this huge run up because people thought that Musk was simply going to be a great beneficiary of the federal government's largesse. And then you can see that along with all the chaos and commotion and Trump's own personal issues, you can see Tesla stock's gone all the way back down. But Morgan Stanley did a survey, and they found that 85% of investors think that Musk's political activities are going to have a negative impact on Tesla's business fundamentals. And so, again, I think the market is starting to say that Musk is becoming too hot to handle, so to speak. But one other point about Musk that's worth making, which is that for all his talk about being anti-government, anti-government programs and things like that, Tesla has been an unbelievable beneficiary of government largesse. And so this is year by year. You can see here. The biggest piece of all of this, about $1.7 billion, are electric vehicle credits that Tesla sells to other automakers who are forced to comply with our electric vehicle and our fuel emission standards. So ironically, a program that Trump has talked about killing is one of the ones that Musk has been the biggest beneficiary of.
So yes, Elon Musk is a joke. Tesla has always been not very innovative compared to what we have coming from electric companies in China and elsewhere. So electric car companies, that is. So let's be very clear here. Our media needs to do a better job on really interrogating technologies and interrogating folks that are really ahead to give the Americans a real impression of who is actually producing what. When we have a false belief in a person like Elon Musk and we put a phantom view on his geniusity, we fail America. Because just like he botched DOGE, because again, he went into government and knew nothing about government and in effect screwed up Social Security, screwed up USAID, and screwed up many agencies. And now he's on the run. Hear nothing about him. So they have not cut they have found no real cuts in our government, but they have done a job in screwing up jobs and harming people. And at the same time, then leaving the spoils, not the spoils, but leaving the damage for us all to clean up. The media has to do a better job of pointing out that these charlatanes are no geniuses. These charlatanes are not intellectuals. These charlatanes have no business in government. If they were any good, their autocratism would be much ahead right now. They are also just as well not, we're worried about autocracy. The worst part about this is autocracy by folks who are less than. My God, we better wake up. Yeah, we better wake up. Let me tell you something. I want to answer, I think it was a woman's name, because I want to let her know a few things that's very important. Tesla does, Angelina Wolf. Tesla doesn't make near the best electric cars. In fact, they make substandard electric cars. Compared to electric cars around the world, they are now a joke. Tesla gets their delta increase in sales from government subsidies. Those are the statements of fact. The guy that is trying to get rid of government employees and trying to tell folks that what they're getting is welfare is the biggest welfare recipient. Every single company that he has is a government welfare private sector company that couldn't survive without the government. Let's get that very, very clear. Those of you who support Elon are simply supporting an apartheid guy who came to America and sponged on our people, our tax dollars, billions of our tax dollars, support his largesse, support the wealth that he has. Let's make sure and remember that, okay? Let's make sure. He got a small loan from a fairly large loan actually, from his dad, invested it into the bro market of the time, which was websites and that kind of crap, made false money and moved on from there. Like I said, the stock market is a casino. Patrick Wagner says they haven't had a good model developed after Elon stole Tesla. Exactly. Because again, there's no genius in Elon. Elon is just a front. There's no genius in Elon. And like I said, he's not even an engineer. It irks me. Every time I hear them call him an engineer, it irks me. We paid a price to be an engineer. For somebody like him to be called an engineer is a disservice to the engineering profession. It's a disservice to the engineering profession. All right, let's go ahead and open the lines. Anybody wants to call in, the number is 281-823-7747. The number is 281-823-7747. I'm taking calls. Anybody wants to call in, give us a call. I'll be taking calls for about 6 minutes or so. 281-823-7747. Lee the Bearcat says, Patrick, how did Elon steal Tesla? Didn't he buy it? Again, you buy it with money that you stole via the stock market manipulations. Oh, okay. If that is okay, I steal $10 from you and then offer you $9, or rather offer you $2, and you say, oh, thank you for giving me $2. What you're doing is returning my money. All right, folks, give me a call, 281-823-7747. if you have anything to close out the show. AVQ says, I am not a car expert, but from where I stand, what I've read about EVs, Nissan's Leaf seems best for the price. Hyundai Ioniq seems best for performance. Yeah, we have real companies making real EVs that look sleek. If you take a look at the Hyundai cars, I went to a Hyundai dealer when we took my daughter's car in. And I mean, these are beautiful, beautiful cars. They don't look like Raggedy Ann buffoonery like that, like the Tesla truck that looks like a, oh my God. First of all, it's a ripped off design. And not only is it a ripped off design, it's a poorly implemented, ripped off design. So what can I say? Tom Zarnick. Tom, how are you doing? Great to hear your voice. We haven't had a hold 1 second, Tom. I got to bring another caller in as well. How you doing, Tom?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How have you been?
All right. I've been kind of busy with personal problems and some medical issues with my partner here. She's trying to get things taken care of. But I've been listening and watching in the wings, both on KPFT and here. So.
Well, before we get into this, is she getting okay, my friend?
Well, she's better, but she's still struggling with thyroid issues. So I've been really busy. Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, please give her my regards and tell her, hang in there with all the positive affirmations coming.
Yeah, I'm getting an echo here for some reason.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Are you still getting an echo right now? Are you still getting one?
Okay, this is not working.
All right, let me see if that's on my end. I tell you what, let me ask Harry. Harry, are you getting an echo as well?
She's going to see a doctor next week again.
No, I'm not getting it.
Okay, I think it may
I
be
just
your
hear
line.
Tom and you talk.
Yeah, it may be your line, Tom. Anyway, Tom, so what's up, my dear brother? I haven't spoken to you in a while.
Okay. I don't know why I'm getting such feedback here. I can't even hear you right.
Oh, wow. I think Harry said he can hear me, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you okay now?
No, I'm not.
You're still not okay.
Yourself come back.
Why don't you do me a favor? Call back. I'll hold out the line. Call back. Let me take care of Harry, and then maybe it's an issue with the line.
All right.
Okay.
Must be on my side.
Yeah. So call me back, Tom.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm really concerned about is everything that's happening in Trump and Musk, and I'm thinking that.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too. I'm getting a echo. Yeah, I can hear you, but then I can hear myself on delay. Anyway, all right.
You know what? When you're talking, take the thing away from your ears. That way you don't get confused. Are you, Tom? Okay. All right, Tom. I guess Tom's going. Okay, Tom is coming back in. Let's pull Tom in again. Okay, Tom, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Is that any better?
I'm still getting an echo. I'll try again another time.
Okay. Well, look, let's do that. Now, let me ask you, Harry, are you getting a feedback at all? Okay, is Harry in or did we lose Harry? Hold 1 sec. Sorry, guys, for this, but, our phone system is still a new thing that we're doing. Harry, are you there? Huh. I'm going to hang up and ask folks to call back. Okay, call back, Harry, and then we'll take care of you then. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the program today. What I'm going to do is while we wait for those two calls, I'm going to do my regular ask. As you guys know, we are a program completely dependent. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, let's see if this works now. All right, Harry, are you getting a feedback as well?
I hear you loud and clear.
Do you get a feedback of yourself when you talk?
No, I don't hear myself on a delay. I don't hear it at all.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that it wasn't our system that was misbehaving. All right, give me a quick 30 seconds, Harry, because we are at 3:59.
Okay, what I want to say is I'd like to know, Elon Musk is going to be leaving the Trump administration, DOGE. He's supposed to be leaving that, correctly? Correct?
Yes. After 130 days, yes, sir.
All right, the sooner the better. And
I just say that Trump says all this stuff about it's sad about what happened at down there in Tallahassee, Florida University. But look, as long as we have weapons in this country, these things are going to continue to happen. And I'll tell you something that personally, I haven't told you this, Egberto, but I had an accident last week when I was taking a shower, and my brother Alan is helping me out, and I sprained I banged my right knee, sprained my left knee, and I'm going to soak my leg in some Epsom salts, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to go to the hospital and have them check it, because I can't even walk. All I can do is crawl.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Hope that it's in God's hands. Yeah, I'm glad you're very supportive.
Well, look,
I will,
and look, I got to go now.
Hopefully, I'll be walking again soon.
Look, brother,
I will.
You
take
keep us
care,
in
and
touch.
I'll listen to I will, and I'll listen tomorrow morning. And if I need to call, I'll call.
Thank you, my brother.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, guys, I am a little bit over time. I just want to ask you, those of you who are listening to our program, please realize this program is not only this program here, but we also are on air on KPFT 90.1 FM Houston, on air and online in the mornings at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Of course, we're here at 3 in the afternoon. All of this is 5 days a week. We also have books that we write. We also write articles for newspapers. We write articles on as guest bloggers at other websites as well. We do all of this for one specific reason: to flood the zone with progressive information to counteract the lies of the right. That is our saving grace. They have major investors that pour millions into doing that. We do that on the cheap. How do we do that? We ask you to support us. And our newsletter, Egberto Off the Record, supports this endeavor. And what I'm asking you is to please consider going directly to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. That is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and become a paid subscriber of our newsletter. If you can do that, it's very inexpensive. We need hundreds of people with these very small support that can actually allow us to continue here. I am going to give a tour of the studio so that you can actually see what it takes to do this work. Bruce has been here to my studio before. We do everything here and connect to the channels that get us over our 100,000 watt transmitter. We do a lot here. We also make sure that everything that you see is developed right here. One person making sure to flood the zone, and we need many more doing this. But I tell you what, it is costing not only in time but financially as well. So I ask those of you who have the wherewithal to support this kind of endeavor to please become paid subscribers by going to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. That will help defray all that we do here. Check out the work we do on Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, everywhere, because we've got to flood the zone. Anyway, I got to get out of here. My name is, first of all, love you all. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.